All right, today we're going to tackle one of the most maddening, frustrating topics for any trader: self-sabotage. We're going to dive deep into the core ideas from Mark Douglas's legendary book, Trading in the Zone, to really uncover the hidden forces that might be wrecking your account from the inside out.
So, does this sound familiar? You have an amazing week. Your strategy is just clicking. You feel like you can't lose. And then, boom. Almost overnight, you give every single penny back with a series of just boneheaded mistakes. It feels like you're cursed, right? But what if it isn't bad luck at all? What if it's something way, way deeper?
Well, according to Mark Douglas, the answer is usually found in a huge misunderstanding of what's actually driving your decisions in the market. See, it's not about finding some new magic indicator or a holy grail system. The real battle, it's not on your charts at all.
And this right here is the absolute heart of the matter. You could have the most profitable strategy on the planet, but if you've got this internal conflict raging inside your head, trust me, you will find a way to lose. This is a war being fought between what you consciously want and what your subconscious actually believes.
Now, to understand this war, we first have to get to know the soldiers on the battlefield. And this is where Douglas introduces a pretty wild idea. Your beliefs are not just these passive little thoughts floating around. No, they are active, living forces inside of you.
I mean, just let that sink in for a second. Conscious, structured energy. What that means is every single belief you hold about money, about success, about what you're capable of, it's an active entity. It has a purpose. And you know what that purpose is? To survive.
And this quote just nails why changing your mindset is so incredibly difficult. When you try to adopt a new positive belief like, I can be a consistent trader, your old negative beliefs, the ones that say you can't, they feel threatened. And they fight back, hard. This internal resistance is the very engine of self-sabotage. So how do they work? Well, Douglas gives us three fundamental laws.
Okay, so let's dive into law number one. You can think of it like the law of inertia. Beliefs want to stay exactly as they are, and they will fight tooth and nail against any attempt to change them.
And this is so important to understand. You can't just grit your teeth and use willpower to crush a belief like, I'm not good enough. In fact, trying to fight it head on usually just gives it more energy and makes it even stronger. So if you can't destroy it, what in the world are you supposed to do? Well, the solution Douglas offers is pretty brilliant. Think about Santa Claus. As a kid, that belief had a ton of energy, right? It made you write letters, leave out cookies, it drove your behavior. Now, as an adult, you didn't go to war with Santa and destroy the concept, you simply withdrew your energy from it. The belief became inactive. It's the exact same principle. You have to learn to deactivate old limiting beliefs by systematically pulling their energy and transferring it to new empowering ones.
Which brings us to law number two. And this, my friends, is where self-sabotage really, really kicks into high gear. Every single active belief you hold is constantly demanding to be expressed out in the real world. What happens is you get this active contradiction, which is when you hold two completely opposite beliefs at the exact same time. And for a trader, this is an absolute account killer. Both beliefs demand to be expressed, which leads to chaotic, inconsistent, and totally destructive behavior. Here's the classic example. It's this constant internal tug of war. On one side, you've got your conscious goal. I want to be a consistently profitable trader. But on the other, you might have this deep subconscious belief that says, I don't deserve to be successful. Both beliefs demand a voice. So what happens? You make a pile of money, fulfilling one belief, and then you immediately do something stupid to lose it all, fulfilling the other. It is a vicious, vicious cycle. And that leads us straight to the final and maybe the sneakiest law of them all. Your beliefs don't need your permission to operate. They are always, always running in the background, whether you know it or not. Think about it like driving a car. You don't consciously think about every single little action: steering, braking, checking the mirrors. It's automatic, right? Well, your beliefs about money and self-worth, they work the exact same way. They are the autopilot for your trading account, making decisions for you even when you think you're the one focused on the charts. So what's the result of this subconscious pilot? It leads to something tons of traders experience but just can't explain: hitting an invisible wall in their account, a glass ceiling. Douglas calls this the negative zone. I mean, just take a look at this chart. Does this look painfully familiar? Your account grows, everything's going great, you're feeling on top of the world, and then, as you can see, you hit a certain number. Let's say it's $50,000. The second you cross that line, your subconscious pilot yanks the controls and takes disastrous action to bring you right back down to a level it feels safe with.
And that number, that 50 grand, it's not random. It often lines up perfectly with a hidden belief you have about your own self-worth. If deep down you believe you're only a $50,000 person, your mind will sabotage any and every attempt to go beyond that limit, all in an effort to resolve that internal conflict. Okay, so understanding the problem is a massive first step. But how in the world do you actually fix it? How do you win this internal war and finally, get the consistent results you want? Well, the game plan actually follows the very laws we just talked about. First, you have to acknowledge that your results are a reflection of an internal conflict, not just bad luck or a bad market. Second, you stop fighting the negative belief. Instead, you consciously withdraw your focus and emotional energy from it. And third, you systematically build up and pour energy into a new belief that actually serves your goals until it becomes the dominant one, your new positive autopilot. And that leaves us with one final and really critical question for you to think about. When you look at your trading journal, when you look at your equity curve, just forget about the strategy for a minute and ask yourself this: what underlying belief is truly in control here? Answering that question honestly, that's the first real step to taking back the controls for good.